Secrets of the Mesozoic era. Cretaceous period. The Mesozoic era has come to an end. The last and most saturated with prehistoric inhabitants of the Cretaceous period. During the Cretaceous, the Great Rift of the continents continued on our planet. The climate was no longer as hot and suitable for Jurassic animals. The northern territories of our planet had real winters with snow. But still, the temperatures of the Cretaceous were higher than today. In the Cretaceous period, life reached perhaps its greatest diversity. There had never been such great diversity of life on Earth. Never before or since. Throughout this remarkable period, there were no major catastrophes. Evolution proceeded slowly and quietly. Flowering plants appeared, which eased the erosion of the soil. This event resulted in fewer minerals entering the ocean. All of this led to a decrease in the variety of biomass. The depths of the ocean became less rich and fabulous than before. But because of the flowering plants, the mass of terrestrial vegetation increased greatly. The growth of flowering plants contributed to an increase in the number of nectar-eating and pollen-carrying insects, as well as fruit-eating and seed-dispersing animals. Insects that cannot live without flowering plants at all have appeared. These are butterflies and bees. Birds and mammals ate fruit and spread seeds over great distances, spreading plants to new areas of continents. Small animal populations grew. Flowery vegetation formed large dense thickets which sheltered small rodents, lizards, and snakes. During the Cretaceous, there were many groups of bivalve mollusks like mussels and gastropod mollusks like snails. The ammonites were fewer in number. Belemnites took the place of these creatures. New inhabitants appeared. Small shrimps, crabs, and lobsters. The first nummulites appeared. It was a type of coral that formed reefs. Giant mollusks spread very quickly in the oceans of the Cretaceous period. These are Inoceramus, which reached 1 meter in diameter, and Platyceramus, which could reach up to 3 meters in diameter. In their appearance, the gastropods and bivalves barely differed from the modern ones. Squid, octopus, and nautiloids were not numerous in the Cretaceous seas. The most prosperous class of fish in the Cretaceous was, as now, the rayfish. The largest of the rayfin fishes were Protosphaerina, reaching up to 3 meters in length, and Xiphactina up to 6 meters. In the Cretaceous period, the first characinids, salmonids, and pike appeared. The modern pike emerged just then and did not change a bit since then. Cretaceous sharks gradually began to look like modern sharks and reached a length of 7 meters, while rays reached 1 meter. Some species of Jurassic plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs were still found in the seas. Descendants of ichthyosaurs that became extinct at the beginning of the Cretaceous reached 20 m in length and had 2 pairs of short flippers. Cretaceous sea plesiosaurs, like Elasmosaurus, as well as giant mosasaurs, were regarded as masters of the seas. The prey of these predators consisted of all the fish species that inhabited the ocean. The giants were not very picky about food. In those days, giant archelon sea turtles swam in the world's oceans, leisurely raking the warm water with their flippers in search of food. The archelons were almost 4 meters long. The largest known specimen of archelona found by scientists was 480 centimeters long, and the distance between the flippers reached 530 centimeters. This turtle weighed up to 4 tons in its lifetime. In the meantime, many interesting things were also happening on land. From lizard-like ancestors evolved true snakes. Large lizards with long spines on their backs inhabited the territory of modern Europe. Huge pythons crawled in the jungles of small chalk forests. Some new species of seabirds also appeared. Hesperornis were like great loons. Bees flew everywhere, moths and other insects flitted about. Numerous spiders were hiding among the foliage, scurrying for their prey. The new groups of plants quickly formed huge forests. For terrestrial animals, it became a true paradise. A variety of leaves and other edible vegetation gave rise to new animals. Forests were filled with more and more inhabitants. Dinosaurs were still the dominant animal group during the Cretaceous period. 49% of all Cretaceous animal genera. Dinosaurs continued to evolve rapidly. New species emerged throughout the Cretaceous period, reaching their peak. One of the largest groups of dinosaurs was the lizard-eating dinosaurs. Most theropods are predatory bipedal dinosaurs. Theropods are becoming more diverse. This is because there are more and more diverse insects and mammals. The most primitive of all the theropods that survived into the Cretaceous period were the ceratosaurs. Distinguishing features of Ceratosaurus from other theropods are bone plaques on the skin, like crocodiles, and horny ridges on the snout, protecting the eyes and nostrils from the desperate blows of unfortunate prey. The ceratosaurs include two large families. The first family is the Abelisauridæ. These were large predators up to 9 meters long and weighing up to 1.5 tons. After Gondwana split apart, there were many islands that slowly traveled across the ocean to form the future continents. Africa, Australia, Eurasia, South America, and North America. Abelisaurids lived only in the southern hemisphere. Their main prey were young sauropods and small mammals. Also, any of the predators safely fed on carrion. The arms of most abelisaurids were very short and had 4 fingers. Among the Abelisauridae, the subfamily Carnotaurus stands out. This subfamily includes 7 genera that descended from one ancestor. An interesting representative of the Abelisauridae is called Majungasaurus. This unusual predator had a horn on its forehead and bulldog jaws, unusual for dinosaurs, which are convenient for strangling large and strong prey. These dinosaurs had a fierce temper, fought a lot among themselves, and enjoyed eating their defeated opponents. This is the only dinosaur species for which regular cannibalism has been reliably proven. Carnotaurus also had a shortened snout, but its jaws were weak. But its mouth was wide open and allowed to swallow very large pieces of food without chewing. In addition, Carnotaurus had full binocular vision. Another predator, Rajasaurus. Rajasaurus was almost no different from Majungasaurus, except that it weighed up to 4 tons. This is much more than the weight of any other Abelisaurus. The second family of Cretaceous Ceratosaurus is the Dinosaurs. These animals were similar to Ceratosaurus, but were much smaller than Abelisauridae. Only up to 2.5 meters long and weighing up to 50 kilograms. The exception to this family was Deltadromeus. The Deltadromeus stood out from the Nosaurid family due to its gigantic size, reaching up to 13 meters in length and weighing up to 3.5 tons. The paws and muscles of Deltadromeus were incredibly strong. There is a theory that Deltadromeus grabbed and killed large prey not with its teeth, as most theropods do, but with its front paws. Now we will look at the descendants of the Jurassic Megalosaurus. This is the superfamily Megalosauroids or Spinosauroids. The fact is that the Megalosaurid family became extinct at the very beginning of the Cretaceous period. The last representative of this family was a Fravinator. The predator reached up to 9 meters in length. At the end of the Jurassic, a new family had separated from the Megalosauridae. Spinosauridae. Like modern polar bears, these animals fed mainly on fish. But any member of this family could, on occasion, gobble up a small dinosaur if it got lost. And if the predator fisherman did not eat for a long time, he could even catch a fairly large animal. The jaws of spinosaurids were long, thin and weak, like those of dolphins or gavials. The teeth of the predators were numerous but small. Many spinosaurids grew a leathery sail on their backs, filled with blood vessels. The sail was used as a radiator in a car. If the sail was blown by the wind, it cooled the blood that flowed through the blood vessels inside. The sail was especially useful if the animal had to sit for a long time on the bank of the reservoir under the hot sun and the cold wind. If the predator overheated, the blood vessels in the sail expanded. If the animal froze, the blood vessels in the sail began to contract. Spinosaurids were very large animals. The body length together with the tail varied up to 18 meters and could weigh up to 9 tons. This family includes the largest terrestrial predators of all time. Now let's talk about the descendants of the allosaurs. Carnosaurs. Carnosaurs had a good sense of smell, but were not very intelligent. The brains of predators were about the same as those of crocodiles. Cretaceous carnosaurs are divided into two families. The first family is called the Carcharodontosauridae. These are very large animals that reached up to 13.5 meters in length and weighed up to 6 tons. Among the Carcharodontosauridae, the 12-meter-long Acrocanthosaurus, which inhabited the eastern North American continent at the beginning of the Cretaceous period, stands out. This predator could not run fast, but it had very strong forelegs that it used to hold its prey against itself and prevent it from escaping. In case of a long starvation, Acrocanthosaurus had a thick fat compartment on its back, running along almost the entire spine. Interestingly, the fingers on the Acrocanthosaurus hands bent in both directions, not only towards the palm, but also vice versa. In the middle of the Cretaceous, all of the Carcharodontosauridae became extinct. The second family of Cretaceous carnosaurs is the Neovenatoridae. This includes not-so-huge animals, up to 9 meters long and up to 4 tons in weight. These were smaller versions of the Allosaurus. Now we should talk about the more advanced theropods. These are the Coelurosaurus. These animals ran fast, and many of these species had plumage designed not to fly, but to stay warm. In the larger Chlorosaurs, which lived in warmer climates, the feathers fell off when mature and were no longer needed. With equal body size, the Coelurosaurus had a brain twice as large as that of the theropods previously discussed. The structure of the brain of Coelurosaurus became closer to that of a bird than to that of a crocodile. The best-known subfamily of the Chlorosaurus is the Tyrannosauroids. Tyrannosauroids ranged in size up to 14 meters and weighed up to 7 tons. Tyrannosaurs were found only in the northern hemisphere of the Earth, on the fragments of the former continent of Eurasia. And on the small islands of Cretaceous Europe, Tyrannosauroids quickly became extinct. In the southern hemisphere, their ecological niche was occupied by ceratosaurs and carnosaurs. The Tyrannosaurid family belonged to the largest carnivorous animals ever to inhabit the planet. Tyrannosaurids used their front paws to hold small prey before gnawing on it. It is also likely that males clung to females with their small paws during mating to keep them from falling. The front paws also served as an aid for the predator to get up off the ground after sleeping. Unlike other theropods, tyrannosaurs could not only chew chunks of meat off the carcass, but could also normally carve their prey. These theropods could gnaw through bones and suck out bone marrow, crack open the rib cage and get to the tasty and nutritious innards. The largest and most famous Tyrannosaurus was Tyrannosaurus. It was up to 14 meters long. Its skull, more than a meter long, had large, sharp teeth. Each tooth was about 16 centimeters in size. Adult tyrannosaurs were clumsy, but they could run fast and could reach speeds of up to 30, but usually paced at about 17 kilometers an hour. Tyrannosaurus step was 4 meters. Tyrannosaurs did not like to run, because with such weight, any fall resulted in severe injuries. The skeletons of almost all old tyrannosaurs show evidence of heel fractures. A newborn Tyrannosaurus was the size of a newborn ostrich. By the age of 2, the Tyrannosaurus had reached 30 kilograms. A 10-year-old Tyrannosaurus weighed 300 to 400 kilograms. A 14-year-old theropod weighed about 1,800 kilograms. Then came a period of rapid growth, and by the age of 18 the animal was sexually mature and weighed about 4,200 kilograms. Growth then slowed greatly, but seemed to continue throughout life, which in Tyrannosaurids was not very long. The oldest known specimen lived 28 years and weighed 5,400 kilograms at the end of its life. Tyrannosaurus rex is probably better known than the other dinosaurs. In addition, it is likely that it is one of the last dinosaurs that ever lived on Earth. Another member of this family was Tarbosaurus. Thanks to its powerful jaws and strong teeth, Tarbosaurus easily ripped through the thick bone shell of the herbivorous Scalosaurus. The next family of the suborder of theropods is Compsognathidae. In the Jurassic, these small dinosaurs were no bigger than a rooster, but became larger in the Cretaceous, up to 2.5 meters in length and up to 30 kilograms in weight. The plumage of the Compsognathids was soft and fluffy, like that of today's kiwis. Compsognathids fed on lizards and mammals. The small long-tailed Sinosauropteryx. It was the only dinosaur with a roughly known lifetime coloration like the modern raccoon. Sinosauropteryx had remarkably long index fingers on its hands, longer than its forearms. Another subfamily called Ornithomimosaurs. These were medium-sized dinosaurs, up to 6 meters long and up to 440 kilograms in weight. The creatures were similar to ostriches and had the same small heads with large eyes. Many Ornithomimosaurs grew a beak. Among the Ornithomimosaurs, the giant Deinocheirus stood out. It was the longest theropod in the history of the Earth. The animal could reach a length of up to 20 meters together with its tail, and weigh up to 9 tons. Ornithomimosaurs were fast. Theropods had a maximum speed of 80 kilometers per hour. Ornithomimosaurs were omnivores. Predators ate small animals, lizards, frogs, fish, and the eggs of other dinosaurs. Ornithomimosaurs also ate fruit, which they plucked straight from trees, ducking the branches with their hands. Maniraptors. Among the Maniraptors, there was the strangest superfamily of theropods. These were the Therizinosaurs. These dinosaurs were herbivores. The size of these theropods could reach up to 12 meters. The largest Therizinosaurs weighed more than 6 tons, almost as much as a Tyrannosaurus. Therizinosaurs had a large and blunt bird beak instead of teeth. There were so-called termite killers. Alvarsaurs. Small dinosaurs that fed exclusively on termites. Another infraspecies worth paying attention to. These are oviraptors. The physique of these animals resembled that of ostriches. Many species had a rooster comb on their heads. Some oviraptors were carnivorous, some omnivorous, some herbivorous. This group was very diverse. Some animals were the size of a modern smartphone, while others were up to 8 meters long. Some oviraptors weighed a few grams, while others could reach up to 2 tons. But Avamemon were very fast runners and could reach speeds of up to 70 kilometers per hour. All further Maniraptors belong to a group called Paraveses. Like the video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also hit the bell not to miss new and interesting videos from the channel Real Unreal.